Welcome to the Daily Word. I'm really glad that you've joined me, and thank you so much for doing that. And for today's Daily Word, we're going to go into the Gospel of John, chapter 9, and focus in on verse 39. Then Jesus told him, I entered this world to render judgment, to give sight to the blind, and to show those who think they see that they are blind. And this, of course, is following Jesus' healing of the man born blind and the religious officials questioning of him and so forth. And Jesus is really using this healing in many ways, but especially in the sense that he's using it to illustrate the truth about spiritual blindness. And that is, just as physical blindness is the inability to use that sense to perceive what is around us, in front of us, and so on, this spiritual blindness is this deep inability to perceive the things of God, to perceive the deeper spiritual realities of life. And the inability to perceive the truth leaves our world, and we see this in so many ways, our world in great confusion, in great need, in great anxiety and angst, because those deeper questions of life are simply not being answered. They are being ignored and covered over, and the attempt is to distract from them rather than to dig down into them. Those deep questions of life about meaning, about purpose, this longing for a love, honestly, that is certainly deeper than physical pleasure, deeper even than what human relationships can actually provide. It is a longing for the love of God. We've been talking in our Sunday worship series, sermon series, about joy, that there is this longing for joy, and the answer of the world is entertainment right now. There's a great focus on entertainment, and believe me, there's nothing wrong with entertainment that makes us think, that brings us joy, that makes us laugh, and so forth. But it simply cannot answer the desire of the human soul for joy. Take also eternity, for example. The scriptures tell us that God, this is in the book of Ecclesiastes, God has placed eternity in the human heart. We have this longing for life that endures, and that actually causes people to make up fables and fairy tales and myths about the afterlife, because there is something within us that we just know that we are not meant to cease to exist. This causes human beings, it causes us great angst, and so we'd rather not think about it. And so when Jesus is talking about this spiritual sight, he is saying that he actually is the light, he is the truth, that he is the one not only who opens our eyes, he is when our eyes are open, the truth that we are able to actually see. He says here that he came to render judgment, and of course earlier we're reading about Jesus not coming to condemn the world, and we've talked about how he comes to render judgment at his second coming. But the judgment is simply this, that we need to see, and that it is through Jesus that we are able to see. And there's this question then, are we going to allow him to open the eyes of our hearts, as we read about in Ephesians 1:18, or will we refuse, believing that we're not actually blind? It was the issue with the religious officials. They were sure that they already had vision, and they refused Jesus, refused to accept him, refused to allow him to open the eyes of their hearts to enable them to see the things of God. And I think that this pertains to us, and this is where God brought this conviction, this real sense of leading, is that we have to actually intentionally stay focused on the gospel of Jesus Christ. There are those who deny their need for God, think that they already see, and here's the truth. Our spiritual vision, our life in God, our link and knowledge, link to the truth and knowledge of the truth depends on the grace of Jesus Christ. There is not a day where we say, you know what, I needed Jesus at one time to see, but now my eyes are open and I don't really need Him. I understand the things of the Spirit and so forth. There is not a day that we are not dependent on the grace of Jesus Christ. The one who opened our eyes at first, He is the reason that we can continue to see. It is not our ability. It is enabled by Jesus Christ. And so, brothers and sisters, let us then stay focused on the gospel of Jesus Christ, that He has come, and He has come to open our eyes. And He is the truth. He is the beauty. He is the love. He is the life that we see when our eyes are opened. As that man who was healed in the Gospel of John that we read about says, as the great old hymn, Amazing Grace, says, I was blind, but now I see. Thanks be to God. Amen. And until we get a chance to speak again, may God bless you and keep you.